Good evening, everyone. Welcome to class number 23 of Advanced Course in Drones for Development. We have come a long way so far, and thanks to each and every one of you for keeping up with this aggressive, intensive course. So, today we are going to talk about the water bodies. Yesterday, we spoke about the water bodies, yes, but we spoke about the coral reefs. Today, we will be talking about how to keep these beautiful water bodies clean. And to speak about that, we have not Captain Nikunj Parashar, unfortunately, he could not join, but we have Mridul Babar, who is the co founder of Saga Defense Engineering, to tell us the story about how they keep the water bodies clean. And they have an amazing indigenous solution, which I'm a huge fan of, and for which they have received a lot of accolades. Today, to talk about that, we have Mridul. Mridul, this class is yours now. Over to you.
Hi, good evening once and all. I am Rudul Babbar. Nikun will not be able to join, so I came in place of his. So, giving you a brief, I would start off with showing a picture. Are you able to see the picture on the screen? Do you see what it is?
Yes, Mridul, do
It
you
is
want to use a slideshow like a full screen?
pardon?
Can you use a slideshow like a full screen? We can see it like a tiny window.
Now you can
Yes.
see it?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So you see this picture. This is one of the picture we captured in our one of our river clinic operations in Bandra Lake. What you see is a small fish getting stuck in a plastic cup, and this plastic cup cost the fish his life. With the ongoing current scenario, if we continue to throw garbage in our rivers, the condition is going to be like the image that is on the screen, where the kids are going into the river in the collection of garbage. Nowadays, with the ongoing scenario, cleanup is becoming a new problem in itself because there is a lot of garbage that is coming from all around and that is being dumped into our beautiful rivers. There are currently variety of problems that we all know related to the river cleaning operations. One of the river pollution. There is urban pollution, and there is a garbage that is dumped into our beaches, and that comes into our beautiful rivers. Not only this, the plastic that we throw into a river, that this in turns continue in exposure with the sunlight and becomes microplastic that is being eaten by the fisheries in the water bodies, and the fisheries then in turn is eaten by the human beings, and this is entering our food chain, and this is a big problem, and this is going to be a major issue that we are going to face in the future coming time. On the same lines, here you see is a picture of an old 190-day-old chick, and there were 276 pieces of plastic found in this. So, this is a warning for the future, I would say. We, being a technocrat and working in the field of robotics, thought of doing something on these lines. Giving you a brief about us, we are one of the top companies working in the field of marine autonomy, where we have supplied systems to the Indian Armed Forces. The vessel you see is one of the vessel that is 10-meter long vessel, which we supply to the armed forces being used for the classified operations. This is again one of the images where our vessel is in action doing covert operations with the warship. Now, coming to the problem statement, there are currently solutions that are available in the market for the river cleanup operations. But as you see, these are big, costly machines and require multiple manpower. At the same time, the people has to go inside the river for the cleanup operations. Not only this, they are operated using the fossil fuels that in turn harm the environment. Here we have developed a system. We call this system that is our mission trash fin, giving fins to the trash that is floating on the surface of the water. Here you see 6 R's we have defined in our mission. First is reducing. This is an electric propelled vehicle, and there are batteries on board. So there are zero carbon emission. The material we use for building this vessel is from the recycled windmill materials, that is FRP, that is used for building this vessel, that comes into the reuse. Recycle, we collect the garbage and we segregate the garbage, and the garbage can be sold to the vendors so that they could be recycled. Rethink is the autonomy that we embed into the system in which it can be operated on itself. Then coming to the retrofit is the system. This can be scale up as well. This is a 2-meter vessel. The same system can be deployed for the 10-meter vessel as well. And at last, we refuse. By this, we mean to stop throwing the garbage into our rivers. So these are the core principles that we devised using this vessel. These are the images of the trash bin operations operating during the Ganesh Chaturthi festival in Pune, where our vessel was deployed for 7 days and it collected around 70 kgs of garbage in 7 days. This is again we deployed in during Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj, where we collected 80 kgs of garbage daily for continuous of 6 days. The beauty about this is, you see, there is a normal vessel, a man is operating it on the bottom left, and there is our vessel that is electric propelled and that is controlled from the land. So there is no risk of life that is involved in it. And there are multiple sensors that can be embedded onto this for the collection of data as well. Giving you a brief about the carbon emissions. So using a single drone, battery operated drone, in the sense a river cleaning unmanned drone, so it will save 425 metric tons of carbon emission in a year by using a single drone. Imagine multiple of these drones deployed, how much carbon emission we can save. And giving you the equivalence vector, it is equivalent to lighting up the 46 homes energy for a year, or it could be 10 lakh miles for a single car that is being run. This is again the operations we did in Nagpur, and we have made it a device simple compared to the IoT as well, because we have put the sensors on board, and the sensors is giving the data onto the cloud platform, in which we are segregating the amount of garbage being collected and also segregating the type of garbage, so that the user who is operating it, which is the municipal corporations, so they have an idea what kind of garbage is coming into the waters and what is their frequency, how much frequent the type of garbage is coming in. So we have deployed this app also, and we named it as Heroes, because it is made for the heroes that goes into the water and clean up. So this is a picture of a man in Nagpur. We were doing operation. He used to manually go into the water and collect the floating leaves you see in here. There is a video of one of our operations that is being currently played, in which you see the amount of garbage. You see, the vessel was filled with garbage when it came back. So it was around 300 kg of garbage it has collected. Imagine a man going into the water, risking his life with the dump of garbage you see on the screen. Now, the same, you see the easiness of work the man has to do. That is where the technology kicks in. So this is another video of our operations in Nagpur Lake.
So it means they were not this big officer.
This man was manually collecting it before the vessel was deployed. Now we deploy the vessel and he himself is operating it.
कैपेसिटी अलग अलग चीज में ऐसे भी देखने को पाए जनरली एक चीज पे कुछ सॉलिड ना सबसे बड़ा साइज है फिर आप
You see, the vessel is cutting the roots and then collecting it. This was one of the use cases that we never imagined, but we were able to do.
वो भी लेता हूँ सर एक ये वाला शॉट ले लो
So they are removing it. Again, coming to one of the operations, we were covered by BBC for our operation in Prayagraj.
बात करते हैं प्रयागराज कुंभ श्रद्धा का केंद्र तो है ही कई कंपनियों के लिए ये नई टेक्नोलॉजी का टेस्टिंग
Would you like to tell a lot of our classmates who are not from India what Kumbh Mela is?
The Kumbh Mela is a place where people from all around India come to take a bath into the holy water. So there is a huge amount of people that no one could imagine comes at a place, and there is, no arrangement as such for making stay for that kind of people. So there's an amount of people that come in. This is a holy place, and this comes after 5 years or so. So there we got the opportunity by the Prayagraj government to showcase the technology and keep the rivers of the Prayagraj clean. So this is in Hindi, so some of might from the outside do not, but you'll be able to get the idea behind it.
So I would like to add to that, Pridal, for the people who don't know what is going on over here. So we have a religion in India which is called Hinduism, and the Hindus are very fond of offering flowers to the rivers. Rivers are considered to be extremely holy, and we have to offer flowers, coconuts, even small lamps, like lighted lamps, to the river. This is a part of the whole process of the whole offering that we have to make. And during this festival, which is called Kumbh Mela, which happens once, the mega one happens once in 12 years, and the smaller one happens once in 5 years, as Mridul said. We have more than, let's say, a few million people coming to the festival at the same time and staying at this place and offering their prayers and these flowers at least few times a day. So the whole chunk of flowers and leaves and the coconuts all have to be cleared out somehow so that the river appears very clean. This time when the festival had happened, the government had taken a stand that we have to keep the cleanliness as at the forefront, and this was one of the activities that they did. Go on.
अगर समय पर इनकी सफाई ना की जाए तो इससे नदी का प्रदूषण बढ़ने का खतरा होता है। मेला प्रशासन ने सफाई के लिए कई लोगों को तो लगा ही रखा है, लेकिन मुंबई की एक कंपनी कुछ अलग करने की कोशिश कर रही है। उन्होंने सफाई के लिए एक बोट बनाया है जिसे चलाने के लिए किसी नाविक की भी जरूरत नहीं होती। प्रयागराज से शुभम किशोर की रिपोर्ट।
संगम से थोड़ी ही दूर पर स्थित ये प्रयागराज का वीआईपी घाट है। सफेद चिड़ियों और कई तरह की नावों से भरी ये जगह दूसरे घाटों की भीड़ भाड़ की तुलना में बेहद शांत दिखी, लेकिन इन खूबसूरत नजारों के बीच इस छोटी सी बोट ने हमारा ध्यान खींचा, जिस पर कोई नहीं बैठा था। वेस्ट शार्क नाम के इस बोट को प्रयागराज के कुंभ मेला में सफाई के लिए प्रयोग के तौर पर लगाया गया था। बोट पर एक कैमरा लगा है और रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी सिग्नल्स की मदद से नदी के किनारे से इसे ऑपरेट किया जा सकता है। बोट के कैमरे की फीड इस लैपटॉप पर देखी जा सकती है। इसकी मदद से नदी में फेंके गए किसी भी कचरे की तरफ बोट को भेजा जा सकता है। मशीन कचरे को अपनी तरफ खींच लेती है। कंपनी का दावा है कि एक बार में 300 किलो से ज्यादा कचरा इसमें इकट्ठा किया जा सकता है। इसके बाद किनारे पर लाकर इसे खाली किया जाता है।
ये जो बोट निकली इनकी पिछले से
यहाँ इस मशीन को मैनुअली ऑपरेट किया जा रहा है, लेकिन इसे बनाने वाली कंपनी का कहना है कि इसमें एक आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंट मैकेनिज्म भी है जिसकी मदद से ये खुद से ऑपरेट हो सकती है। मशीन बिना इंसानी मदद के ये समझ सकती है कि कहाँ नाव है, कहाँ लोग हैं और कहाँ कचरा।
चलाते वक्त ये देखते हैं कि जो ये सिस्टम है वो अपने आप सीखता भी है। सीखता ऐसे है कि पानी का बहाव किस तरफ से है। तो अगर हम इसे डायनेमिक मोड में रख दें और तो ये अपने आप पानी का बहाव देख लेता है और उस तरह जाकर पोजीशन कर लेता है खुद को। और पोजीशन करने से तरीका ये है कि जब पानी का बहाव एक साइड तो कचरा भी उस बहाव के साथ बहता है, तो अपने आप को सब ऐसी जगह पे पोजीशन कर लेते हैं कि जहाँ पे वो कचरा अपने आप उसमें आके इकट्ठा हो जाए।
प्रयागराज के अलावा महाराष्ट्र के कुछ इलाकों में भी इस मशीन को प्रयोग के तौर पर इस्तेमाल किया जा चुका है।
इसे कोई कम पढ़ा लिखा शख्स भी बड़ी आसानी से चला सकता है और ये काफी उपयोगी भी है। इसे बहुत आसानी से एक जगह से दूसरी जगह ले जाया जा सकता है।
दावा है कि इस मशीन को तेल जैसे पॉल्यूटेंट्स इकट्ठा करने के लिए भी ट्रेन किया जा सकता है, लेकिन एक बड़ा सवाल ये है कि क्या समुद्री जीवों के लिए ये मशीन सुरक्षित है।
उन्होंने बनाते हुए इस चीज को बहुत ध्यान दिया है कि कचरा तो आएगा पर छोटी मछलियां इनकी जाली से निकल जाएंगे, तो ना कि मछुआरे की जाली बन जाए और मछलियों को अंदर ले। वो इसमें हमने बहुत खास करके वो इसकी आईपी है।
कुंभ जैसे बड़े आयोजनों में सरकार की तरफ से कई इंतजाम किए जाते हैं। अभी तक नदी का ज्यादातर कचरा मैनुअली इकट्ठा किया जाता रहा है। इस तरह के कामों से जुड़े लोगों की सुरक्षा को लेकर भी लगातार सवाल उठते रहे हैं। मुमकिन है कि ऐसे टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशंस आने वाले समय में किफायती और कारगर साबित होंगे। रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस के लिए भी ऐसी अनमैन्ड मशीनों का इस्तेमाल किया जा सकेगा।
और आने वाले दिनों में हम कुंभ में हुए तकनीकी प्रयोग से जुड़ी कुछ और कहानी।
Mridul, can you explain that technology which was explained in this video in Hindi in English as well?
Yeah, sure. So this vessel, this has various modes in this. So first is the manual mode, in which the normal person, a layman or a kid who can play the video games, can operate it manually. It is as simple as then that giving forward, the vessel will move forward. Giving back, the vessel will move back. Giving vessel right turn, it will turn right, and left turn, it will turn left. So there is a camera on board for the manual operation, in which the user can see the live video that is coming from the communication control unit, in which the user can see the live video that is in front of the vessel. So he can operate it easily, seeing the garbage, where the garbage is, so he can maneuver it easily. The second module is the semi-autonomous module, in which we can plan if we are operating in a similar kind of area and we know the pattern of the rivers around there where the it comes in, the wind comes in. So we can plan the navigation route where the garbage is being collected on daily basis. So there is a pattern into it. So we can plan the mission onto it, the route in which the vessel will go automatically on that route and collect the garbage and come back to the home location. In this, the user has to only monitor using the live video that is coming onto the video screen. The third and the most important part is the autonomy, where the technology kicks in. So there are sensors on board, there are vision sensors, there are distance sensors on board, and there are also LiDAR sensors on board, which maps the environment around the vessel close to 15 meters as of now, and it detects whether it is garbage or something else or other vessel. So in case of if there is another vessel detected, so it will go into the collision avoidance mode, in which it will stay at its position until the other vessels come to the first safety point. If that clears the first safety point, then it goes front or back as per the maneuver and the situation at that time. So whenever the garbage is collected, so the model has been trained to go towards the garbage and collect it. So this is the autonomous mode that comes with this vessel that is being indigenously developed and demonstrated across various users, including the municipal corporations in Delhi, in Nagpur, and in PCMC also. So these are the basic functionality. The beauty about this, with the technology on board, so with the normal person can operate it. You see, this is the man who is operating the vessel in Nagpur. So the ease of work that he has got before he himself has to go into the water and risk his life. There is a lot of another things also in the waters that could harm him. So now this vessel will go. We have the technology. So this vessel will go and collect all the stuff and will come back. Now he can remove it. And then he can generate revenue out of it by selling the garbage he was selling. Actually, collecting the leaves, he sell to the vendor and gets its wages for the day. So it is easing the work for him. Now this will collect more of leaves and will be a revenue generation for him on the larger scale. Similarly, this can be deployed on the beaches as well for the safety portion, in which we can mount the buoys onto this vessel. Along with the cleanup operation, we can also do the safety operations. If someone is drowning, so we can send this vessel instead of the person or the safety boy going onto the beach for the safety operations. This vessel can also be deployed because it will be maneuvering around for the cleanup operations. So these are the basic modes associated with it. With the technology, we aim at generating revenue for the people. That is the core behind it, and also saving the carbon emissions for the environment. Because the similar vessels, we cannot deploy the bigger vessels in these areas because there is a shallow water and they require the height, certain height to be deployed. This at the same time, this vessel can be deployed in shallow water or water having height of less than a meter also. So this is where this is quite useful and use cases has been deployed. Coming to the technology part, the similar machines, we have a vision to create it completely autonomous, monitored by the human. So what will happen? The solar panels will be installed on these vessels. It will be like a docking stations for the larger operations, in which the vessels will go as per the winds and the garbage collection requirement. So multiple vessels can be deployed in swarm as well. Suppose we are deploying the vessels in oceans. So ocean is big. A 2-meter vessel is not enough for the ocean. So we can deploy swarm of these vessels in which they will talk to each other and they have the critical information about each other. How much the garbage they are carrying, how much the distance they are away from the dock or from the garbage. This will be and stuff like that. and they'll be charged automatically using the solar panels on board and on the docking stations. Though this is the future, but we are on the lines of developing it. But it's a long way to go when we say at the current scenario. But this will certainly be the future rather than the systems that use fossil fuels for the operation and include the risking the life of the human going into the waters. So that is the core technology. Along with this, we are doing the same technology deployed with the normal aviation technology as well in this. Yes, Ruchi.
Thank you so much, Mridul. Amit or Saksham, do you want to coordinate the question answer session today? It's like your kind of topic.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. This is Amit here.
Hi, Amit.
So I'll be taking on the questions now. So first question comes from Mariam. What's the brand of the drone? Does anybody knows this in chat? Okay, she's asking which drone is it?
What
The
drone is
underwater one.
So the drone is manufactured. This is a water drone, and this is manufactured by Sagar Defense Engineering in India.
Okay. So next question comes from Mariam. Also, is it suitable for sea waters? Also, sea waters that faces waves and salinity.
Yes, up to a certain sea states. So up to sea state 2, it can work in sea, but for higher sea states, it has to be scaled up. Scaled up in the sense of the size. The current size is 2 meter. It can go up to 30 meters as well, depending on the requirements and the use cases. As of now, we have made this only for the rivers, beaches, and lakes.
Okay. So Rohit is asking, very innovative indeed. What is the minimum depth it needs for operation?
So it is less than a meter of depth, water depth, to deploy this.
Okay, so it is sufficiently buoyant for that.
Yes, right. So it has a weight carrying capacity of 300 kgs when it is empty. So the more the weight gets into the mouth, so the depth will increase. So there is a depth of 40 centimeter we have kept for the garbage to come in as soon as it gets down. So when it's full, it comes back to the home location where it has started.
Okay. So Samiksha is asking, is there a water waste trapper inside or a mesh?
So there is a net kind of stuff, aluminum net we have created, and there is a kind of a artificial pressure difference that is created on the surface and below the surface that creates an artificial suction, and that all the garbage comes in when it goes close to the garbage. So there is a net kind of stuff in the terms. Aluminium net, you can say.
Okay. So, sir, I had also a question. I had seen similar kind of systems, but they had a membrane inside which used to create partial pressure and it used to suck the waste inside. So, is it similar to that?
So there is no membrane as such in this particular thing. So we have created the design that creates the artificial pressure difference and creates the artificial suction.
Okay.
The design is made such that the fishery is also not harmed. So there is a place. So if some fish get stuck in the garbage, so there is a place for fish to get out of the garbage. So there are spaces specially made for this, and the IP is there for that as well.
Okay. So Bhaskar is asking, in one cycle, how much waste can be removed?
The carrying capacity is 300 kgs in one go, and it can run up to 10 hours continuous operation.
Okay.
In one single charge.
Julie is asking, what is its dimension for the garbage inlet?
So the garbage inlet is 1.8 meter is the length, 40 centimeter is the height, and 1.4 centimeter is the width.
Okay. Again, Julie is asking, is it affected by winds?
In the stability terms, I would say no. But if winds is there, there is an aerodynamic design that caters to the wind. But some endurance loss will be there if there are high winds and going against, if we are going against the wind.
Okay. So Palak is asking, can it go underwater and collect garbage that is not floating?
No, this is for surface garbage collection.
Okay. So Mayank is asking, what are the some limitations of current designs and steps currently in development?
For this vessel or for the current other vessels? I mean,
The one that you showcased about.
so I mean, there is no limitations as such. The only thing is it can't go underwater. Only the surface garbage is being collected.
Okay. Anil is asking, do you offer the drone itself or offer it as a service model?
As of now, we are doing this as direct sales. So we offer the complete product because they are used by the government. So we have not initiated the service model as of now, but that can be thought of in the coming time, but not as of now. As of now, we are deploying it as a direct product to the government organizations.
Okay. Mayank is asking, do you have any use case of combining the drone and the trash bin operations, aerial drones?
For the
Combining
garbage,
the surface water drone with an aerial drone for some operations.
that use case, not for the cleanup operations, but for other classified operations, we are already doing that, but not specifically for the river cleaning operations.
Okay. Julie is asking, can it be used to remove weeds such as water hyacinth?
Water hyacinth, we have to modify the internal inlet structure and put some hard cutter stuff onto that. Then it can be used, but not in the current state. Modification needs to be there for the hyacinth specifically.
Okay. So sir, there's a question from my side. I've seen like farms, the people who do fish farming and other stuff, they get surface algae on their ponds and stuff. So these designs can help remove the surface algae also.
Yes, surface algae can be removed. We have to minimize the size of the inlet pores. As of now, the pores are in more width and height so that the water can go through them and they can collect the bigger pieces of garbage. But for algae, we have to miniaturize the pore size. Then it can be used for algae. We have used one of the operations in Netherlands.
Okay. Mayank is asking, how do you manage a trade-off between not catching fish while not letting small trash escape?
The trade-off. So the design is as such, the fisheries will pass through the spaces we have provided for the fisheries. If there is a scenario in which the fish, there is a amount of garbage that is highly dense and the fish has been stuck inside the garbage. So that will be the case. Fish, there will be no space, and if also it is in the center, so there will be no space for the fish to go out. So there are some use cases there, but that are not frequent, I would say, because when we operate this, we have an idea how much dense the garbage is, how much the fishery is there. So we operate in that environment where we don't harm the fisheries.
Okay. So Sindhav is asking, what is the connectivity range for it?
The connectivity range varies from 1 kilometer to 1.8 kilometer with the commercial grade solutions. For the larger solution, we can go up to 5 kilometers from the center as well.
Okay, so the mode of communication would be SATCOM or radio frequency?
So on the commercial grade system, it is radio frequency in the ISM band, but our build grade systems runs with the SATCOM along with the RF as well. So we have the system has the capability to be run through the SATCOM.
Okay. So Anil is asking, can it operate on water on which oil is spilled?
It can operate but there has to be apparatus mounted on it for the oil cleanup operations.
Okay.
If that's the question where it is leading to.
Okay. Bhaskar is asking, one battery cycle, how much area can it cover?
How much area can it cover?
Yes, that was the question. But probably it is all about in one battery cycle. What is the expected battery time?
It is 10 hours on the continuous speed of 2 knots.
Okay. Mayank is asking, how many total deployments by total missions have you led for Trashfin already?
So in India, we have done close to 6 operations. We are also exporting this vessel to Netherlands. So there we have deployed 15 such vessels and they are operating in there.
Okay, so most of the questions are answered. I would request Ruchi ma'am to take over the session.
Are all the questions covered?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does anyone have anything else to say or add or ask? Then you can just unmute yourself and do that. Mayank just asked, can we buy it?
Yes, there are no regulations as such. And if there is a need, you can buy it, but that depends on the application where you're going to use it.
And yeah, Mridul, for me it would be how can we partner up? But anyway, we can take it offline. And
Yeah.
Mridul, from my side, what were there any major challenges that you faced while doing these operations?
So one of the major challenge is the mindset of the people,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So when we go to operate this vessel in one of the case scenarios in Nagpur only, so the people who are working there were afraid that will take their jobs. If we are using this vessel, the municipal corporation using this, their jobs would be lost. But this was a major challenge. So we came there and we gave the remote to him only to operate it. And he used it for more than a week, and then he realized that it is for his own use because his job is not getting anywhere. He's collecting more of the garbage and he's generating more revenue and selling it. So the major challenge is the mindset of people that are currently involved in these kind of river cleaning operations because they have the tendency to go inside the water and collect it. So they are not highly appreciating of the technology. They are not able to understand that technology will do them good and make them more technocrat kind of people and help them in turn generate more revenue compared to what they were already gaining.
Okay. And have you also come across rivers which are extremely dirty? For example, it could be the Mithi River of Mumbai, or it could be the Bagmati River of Kathmandu, which are like extremely dense in terms of even the particulate matter which floats in it. And they have more of dust and dirt rather than the floating elements like leaves. So, what do you do in that case?
So in that case, first of all, before doing any kind of operation, we have a look of the area where we are going to operate it and type of garbage that is there. So according to the type of garbage that is there, we modify the internal inlet structure.
Oh,
So in case of the PCMC where you saw the video, there was a similar high density garbage. So if we have a bigger holes in our structure, so it will pass through, and we have to do multiple iterations. So we look at the area where we are operating and we modify the equipment as such for them if we are doing operations. So that is there. The highest dense is the PCMC that we have shot in the video, but not more than that we have done as of now. But
okay.
surely that can be done because customization is in our hand and we can do it as per the requirements.
And what about sanitization of the craft itself? So, because if it's going in absolute dirty waters, how do you keep
Hmm.
it clean? I mean, what is the process for, again, when you bring it back, how do you ensure that it is not dirty or it's clean enough?
So the weight of the vessel is itself not that much. It is close to 65 kilograms, and there are handles on top of the vessel. So the normal 2-3 people can pull it out from the water. So after pulling it out from the water, so we do the bath of the vessel, I would say, with the normal shampoo kind of stuff, engulf in water. We From the shower we clean it up.
Okay. Your boat takes a bath every time.
Yeah.
All right. Any other safety precautions which have to be taken while deploying this?
So there are fail-safe that are already on board with respect to the technology. First is the in the autonomous mode, there is collision avoidance sensors on board in which the vessel is coming from different directions. So it sends the vessel, and until the first geofence is breached, so it stays at its position. And if the level 2 of the geofence is breached, then the action is taken. Then, if we are operating, if the vessel is stuck somewhere inside, so there is a reverse also. I mean, if we are moving in a forward direction, because we are cleaning in the forward direction only. So if we get stuck and we are stuck badly, so we can push in the reverse throttles as well. And also there is multiple propulsion on board, because we have faced one problems when we were operating in Gateway of India long back. So where we were using only single, there were thrusters on board, but there was steering kind of stuff, so we were maneuvering it. So then it got stuck in middle of the waters, because there was a plastic bag that was stuck in the propellers, and one propeller was moving and other was stuck. So then we realized we have to put in the propulsion redundant failsafe onto that as well. So then we incorporated another failsafe mechanism onto it, in which if it get one propeller get stuck, so we have the failsafe propulsion system that will kick in, and it will save the operation time.
So you had said that these leaves get automatically cut. So you have a kind of moving blade below.
Yes, there's a moving blade in the thrusters.
So is
So
there no
that
chance that it can hurt an animal accidentally?
that is completely covered. So only the smaller particles can come in, not the big ship. There is a guards that are in front and back of the propellers.
Okay, but then the lotus stem that you're talking about,
Hmm.
how does it get inside it then?
In this Nagpur case scenario particularly,
I mean, generally you said that it cuts the leaves from the stems, right? The floating leaves.
this happened in the Nagpur case, where we were unaware that it would cut the leaves.
Oh,
But
okay.
it came to as a shocker that it cuts the leaf, and we were thinking it's a floating thing only.
Oh,
So it cuts it, and then we realized that it cuts also.
it was an accidental innovation.
Yeah.
All right. But then, yeah, probably you can, do an experiment and see if it's like only cutting the stems below, or probably it's also there is a chance that it might hurt some animals or something like that. When you do it more times. So there is also a question about how many full autonomy missions have you run, and is it an easier or tougher problem than the self-driving cars?
So it is surely, water is comparatively tough when we compare to anything, because precise positioning in water is a task in itself, because the earth is all rotating and the water is also rotating. So you have waves, you have to cater to the waves. So it is quite difficult. Compared to the traffic point of view, you can say it is easier with respect to the collision avoidance part, but precise positioning is itself as a task.
So how do
Uh,
you achieve that?
So that is our core technology that we have built over the years. We call it the dynamic positioning, where we gather the environmental data and use that to fusion with our onboard sensors to get the precise positioning close to 5 centimeter also.
Amazing.
So
And
that is the indigenous technology that we have given to the Indian Armed Forces, and they are using it currently.
amazing. You might in the near future come up with something for the oil spills.
Yes, we have plans, but we haven't got the requirement as such. We have all the schematic ready for the oil spill operations, but we haven't deployed it yet. But yeah, it is in pipeline. As soon as the requirement comes, we can build onto that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a requirement in Russia for sure. A huge river was disturbed. You can start thinking on it. Anyway, so I believe there are no more questions from the class. Or if anybody still has any comment to make, you can still add in or talk, unmute yourself if you want to. But then, Mridul, to add again to what I said, I am a super fan of the technology, and from the day one, I had seen it. And that's how I think we got in touch with each other, and that's how the relationship has kind of built up. So we
Right.
also want to know about how is the government response to this whole thing.
So the government is quite proactive in talks, I would say. They are doing the best they can, but still, I would say it's quite sluggish on the government end.
But they want robotics. Are they like really encouraging robotics to come in and do the stuff?
Yes, in talks they are, but on ground it is taking time.
Okay, so getting the
So
sales through is a challenge, I guess.
yeah, so that is the actual scenario on ground.
Hmm.
So on paper and talks, it is going pretty well, uh, but it is taking time on ground. But I believe in some time it will come through as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Mridul, for sharing your story and sharing this amazing piece of innovation with us. I really hope that most of us, from wherever we are in the world, we take inspiration from these technologies. And the reason for showcasing you these technologies is so that you get inspired by the possibilities of what robotics can do to make the world better, and what role can you probably play in this. And these things are available off the shelf. You can just pick up and plug in and use it. That's also okay. But then, just kind of think out of the box, and definitely the world would buy your idea for sure. So Radhika is asking, in Bangalore we have a lake named Balanduru, and it's getting polluted due to white fog. So can we collect the fog from this product? I don't know what she means.
Fog as in
Radhika, would you like to unmute yourself and explain?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Radhika.
Ma'am, actually, due to pollution, there is a fog collectively at Belinduru Lake, and it comes on cars in the front of bonnets and all by wind.
Uh-huh.
So, can we collect that fog from the lake by using this?
Are you talking about the froth, the chemical froth?
No, no, fog. It's white
Not
phase like
sure.
thing.
Phase like thing. So that is froth, I think. It's the more soapy stuff, right?
Yes, right.
It looks like bubbles and it floats in the air.
Yeah, correct.
I don't know.
yeah.
Mridul, can you do something about that?
I believe that would not be near the surface. It would be, I mean, at a height from
Let me
the
share.
surface.
Let me share a link.
Yeah, please share a link if you can. So Radhika, what I conclude from Mridul's presentation is if it's a solid particulate matter which could be collected like a monster eating the whole stuff with an open mouth,
Right.
it works that way. And if it's not something which the monster can eat and chew, then probably it will not consume. Am I right, Mridul?
Right.
So I think that's how this technology works.
Okay, okay, fine.
Then certainly other technologies could be extended version of it could be adapted to just some sort of equipment or sensors that could be mounted on it to collect that in the future if something is there.
Probably,
So that can
you can start thinking about other ways of doing it. For example, you can have the spraying drones to spray chemicals over the surface so that this froth can be neutralized or something like that. And also maybe combine the aerial drones for mapping of these waste or the frothing products that you're talking about, or maybe even the particulate matters that I'm talking about, or these leaves that you see in the lake. And then accordingly, you can probably plan a bigger mission with these boats. So you can combine many technologies together and then maybe offer more comprehensive solutions for sure. Right, Mridul?
right.
Ma'am, I've shared the link. You can visit.
All right. Let's check it out. Yeah, right. Can you see that, Mridul?
I'll just see.
Oh God, this is seriously dangerous.
Yeah, just saw it.
This one. So I don't know. Have you ever seen this before? I've never seen this before.
No.
Actually, this is a very common occurrence in a lot of polluted rivers and lakes. So this was seen in Yamuna also many times.
So Rohit, what is the reason why this happens?
It's all. I think it's just because of the chemical constituent. So if there's some base or some basic, what do you say? Just like you have acidic and basic components of a pollutant. So if there is some basic pollutant that's getting into a river, then it's probably causing this to happen.
Interesting. And any idea how do we treat it?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Mridul, Rohit is also an environmentalist
Okay.
in our group, and he works
Okay.
a lot with conservation.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I think the sea foam and everything, it's a very common occurrence. Maybe Mridul, you can innovate something for that.
Yeah, sure. I have to look into that and see research onto it. What exactly is causing it, and what are the parameters affecting it. So then only I can come and comment on top of that. What can be done in the near future?
I think as a group, all of us, because we are here for drones for development, we all should probably brainstorm as a group about all the different pollution which we face and where technology can do something, right? And probably that
Yeah.
can be an assignment for tomorrow, which I will give you. And let's brainstorm on these ideas that this is one possibility where Saga Defense has worked. Maybe there are some more possibilities, right?
Right.
So with this, we'll come to an end of this session today. I thank each and every one of you to come over here and share your views and patiently listen to our stories. And thank you once again, Mridul, for being a part of our classroom and sharing your story and the amazing work that you guys do. Again, I'm a huge fan of you, so thank you so much for keeping up your good work. Thank you, everybody. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Ruchi, for arranging this.
Thank you again. Bye. Good night.
Have a good day. Stay safe.